Perfect. So first, I'm gonna ask a question to you. Who learned to code, to program before the age of 14 here? Okay. Uh, would okay. Who did it at school? Before the age of 14 at school? Yeah. Okay. Great. And who has kids or nephews or nieces or sisters under the age of 18 or 16 or young sisters, kids? Okay. A few parents. Okay. Sisters, nephew. Anyway, myself, I have two daughters, 3 years old and 7 years old, and that's why we did what we did for the kids, always for the kids. So when I was young, I learned how to code in Basic and then Pascal, starting with that, and I still have my computer basic games in French here, so it's pretty cool. There is a lot of lines of code, and as parents, with friends of mine, like Jonathan, who is a professional developer, we wanted to. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Okay, old school. Okay. We wanted to find a way to recapture, to actualize the way we learn programming, the way it was a fun activity for us when we were kids, with our own kids. So we talk a lot about how to do it, the best way to do it, and we found that it's hard at home to share coding, to share programming with our kids, because there is a lot of activities. You go to the park, you have friends, you go to the movies, you go to the museum, and there is not a lot of time of opportunities to make it happen at home, to share our interest in code and in computers with our kids at homes. So at some point, Jonathan discovered that the command line was very interesting for his daughter, that even a kid now can see the magic in the command line, talking to the computer, having an answer. So we thought about the way we learn as kids, experimenting, exploring, with no tutorials per se, with no directions. And so Jonathan, after months and months of discussion, said, okay, I'm gonna invite you all with your kids to a kids party. Goûter in French is a kids party with when kids eat cakes and candy. You say goûter d'anniversaire for a birthday party, for example. So let's eat cakes, let's eat candy with our kids, and let's program and code at the same time. So that was the first Coding Goûter. So computers, cakes, code and cakes, and kids, and parents, and adults. And so it was in December 2011, and since then we have done 10 or 11 or 12 Coding Goûter. And for the first time this January, we had 3 Coding Goûter at the same time, the same weekend, in 3 different cities, in Paris, outside of Paris, in Saint-Gratien, and in Lyon. So we had a lot of people asking us to set up new Coding Goûter, and we are totally no money and non-commercial, and we just try to have to make room for more people and to have more events to allow more kids to share our interest in code with them. So I'm going to show you a few pictures of what a Coding Goûter looks like. So it looks like that, with cakes and. Okay. So as you see, there is a wide range of age, from 5 to 14. And the parents are at the Coding Goûter with their kids. So it's a parent or adult, because sometimes it's not the parents but other adults. It's an adult kids shared activity. We use a lot of tools. We are not only focused on, for example, Scratch or specific tools. We try tools. We even tried Xcode on Mac and other kind of more professional tools for some kids that are more advanced. And we play with Game Salad, with context-free art, with Coding on iPad. We also had a two or three times Lego Mindstorm programmation with something called enchanting. This is Robozzle. Robozzle is great for learning recursion and loops and function calls. It's not a programming tool per se, but it's very nice. This is one of my favorites. You can't see a thing, but it's Live Code Lab. It's a browser-based mini programming environment for WebGL geometry. So you can just type a few commands and have, so kids love that, have balls and things rotating and solar systems and things like that. And we have demos. We have what we call spectacle en français. It means shows. So we let the kid demos what they have done. So it's quite long. A Coding Goûter is like 3 hours and a half because we want to take our time. It's really a family experience or a kids and adult experience, family time. So we want to create the time to. It's not like a traditional workshop, which is like 1 hour or something like that. Another spectacle, and kids go crazy on things. Like as you can see, colors and. This is probably some interactive animation. I don't remember exactly, but and they try different things. I think this is Codea on iPad. It's an environment a Lua environment to play and build the app directly on the iPad. So, where am I? Oh, it's okay. So there is as you can maybe see, there is a couple of things we do differently from others code education groups or workshops. First, it's an activity for the kids and the adult to share. So it's not like you drop your kids, they learn something on the computer, and then you don't. No, we want, and for us and for the other people that come to Coding Goûter, we want to share that with our kids, and we want to code and program with our kids. So some of the parents at Coding Goûter are professional developers. Some of them don't know a thing about programming. Even some of them even have kids that know a lot more than them about computers and programming. But the idea is that everybody learn together. And so it's not a class. There is no lesson plan, no curriculum. We don't want to build a curriculum like some others do. And because we think there is a space, there is a need for unschooled, not school-based in terms of methodology, activities around code education, around kids coding. There is a lot of talk now about putting computer programming in schools and having curriculums, but we want to do it another way. We want to do it freely. We want to explore with our kids. So there is no lesson, no teacher. And as you can see, this is my brother and my nephew, Leo. And this is Emma, Jonathan's daughter. And my brother can know a little bit of PHP. He did a little bit at school, at universities. But Emma is teaching him Scratch because she knows a lot more about Scratch than him. So we want to keep that. We want to have the knowledge flowing in every direction. There are kids that can teach an adult, other kids, etc., etc. Another thing that we found to be very effective and very interesting for us, and that we want to keep because as adults we want to share that with the kids, is we want to put the creative direction in the hands of the kids. Because, most of the time when adults build a workshop for around programming, typically it's go like that. Okay, let's have 8 to 10 years old kids build a shooter with a I don't know, space capsule shooting aliens in Scratch. And what we found is that, guess what? Most of the kids don't really want to build a shooter game with some want, but not all of them. So if you set up the creative direction for them, first of all, you exclude some of the kids, and then you miss something. You miss, because we found that kids want to do crazy things with multimedia programming tool like Scratch. They want to do animation, to do movies, and if you say, okay, today we are going to do a game, you miss something. So we want really to put the creative direction in the hand of kids, because kids are creative and they have crazy ideas. So that's something we do. Also, as Coding Goûter is not a class, there is no point, no badges, no scores, and we have shows. Essentially, they are demos, and as you all know, demos are a great way to be rewarded for what you have done. And we think demos and shows are much more intrinsic. It's much more rewarding, but by itself, than having external points and internal score or badges like scouts and things like that. So that's about what Coding Goûter is about. It's probably not very clear because it's the first time I talk about it in English, so maybe I thought not everything is clear, but we have a little bit of time, and you can talk with me and with others. One thing I wanted to address is that we frequently have the question about why do you want kids to learn code? So people ask us, but why do you want kids to learn code? And I think today there is a very good reason for kids to learn code, and there is a very bad one. So obviously, we don't set up Coding Goûter for the very bad one. So let's start with the very bad reason for why kids should be learning code. The very bad one is for creating a computer engineer army, a drove of computer engineers for the big company and for saving the economy. And that's something we hear a lot, and I think in the next years we are going to hear that a lot, that we need to create a computer engineering drove to save the economy. And obviously it's a very shallow view. It's a very bad reason. But there is a very good reason, and I think that's why you are here today, is that coding, programming, kids want to do it. They see around them that there is code everywhere. They want to try it. They want to explore it. They want to create things with it. And coding, programming is a great way for them to express themselves. It brings people together, just like we see today here. It brings people together from all around the world, and it's a great way to be human today. And that's why we want to share that with our kids and with other kids, because it's a great thing to do. That's a good reason. So maybe in the next few months or year, when you hear about school programs and government setting up coding or programming school or outside of school, think about the good and the bad reason. You want kids and the future people, our future, you want your kids and kids from other kids to learn code in a good way, creatively, by expressing themselves, by exploring, not by being taught for, I don't know, the economy, the big companies, or things like that. So it's not ringing yet, so if you have any question, it's going to ring in 1 minute. Any question? Yeah?
Yeah, my question is, I thought on the website that you recommend that there should be at least one professional programmer present when you do something like that. Do you think it's possible if it, even without one, just if you have a basic understanding of programming?
what we found is that it's nice to have something very, very fluent in terms of programming. So, for example, I'm not a professional developer. I think I stopped coding entire full Kotlin program at 13. But Jonathan and Raphael and others help a lot because they know, algorithm, and they can point directions. So it's nice to have something very fluent in terms of